The markets are back. Bitcoin is pumping. Solana is pumping. Cardano is pumping. XRP is dumping, actually. But folks, we are at Nashville right now. We're live. We got a special guest. We are powered by Arculus. We got the head of product over there. And when I say head of product, I don't mean the gel that is on Josh's head right now. We're going to talk about what is potentially the next big coin to get an ETF and why are all these coins pumping. We got a great show and we're going to have some hot takes. We were actually at the fight last night. We saw RFK. We saw a lot of wild stuff. We're going to maybe see him speak later today. We're going to see Trump as well. We're going to get his take on that. But first, the markets are roaring. Everything is great.
Insane.
And yeah, it's awesome to see. And of course, don't forget, powered by Arculus. We got a link down below, DC10, if you want to save some money. We got a giveaway going on. Josh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to be giving away $200, guys. So make sure you guys, of course, tell us why you believe self-custody is important in the chat here below. And more importantly, go like and retweet and follow both. This is Arculus and Discover Crypto on X. We'll be putting it in the comments for you guys to go do so. But yeah, $300 going away tonight in honor of National Brother Day, of course, with TJ, who is now, guys, I guess we're related by blood. It's amazing. So I wanted to give you guys even more back to the community for that. But these markets are awesome. What?
I don't think he did, folks. I think that's just how it comes out.
Oh, my brother?
No. Anyways,
I can't stop our parents.
There's blood in the streets, when the markets are red.
Oh yes, that is bleeding, just like these terrible jokes. So looking at just, of course, what's happening in the markets today, there's a lot happening in the last 24 hours. I mean, yesterday I was talking about 58. There's still that massive futures gap.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to fill or not, but it is the biggest futures gap we have seen ever. And now we're back to $67,000, $67,500, just dropping to 63K. Bears started coming out of the water again. They're like, they're like drowning out there. Probably not feeling so hot today.
No, and one thing on the CME gap, folks, if you didn't watch Blockchain Basement yesterday, Drew did a really good analysis where when you hear 95% strike rate for these CME gaps, it actually might be closer to 83%, and it might be happening a little bit more frequently, depending on what kind of size you're using for the time frame there. But let's talk about the markets, and I want to get your take on this as well. Bitcoin is up 4% today. It is now sitting at 67,335. We have BNB and Solana fighting for the number 4 spot. There's a period where Solana was actually beating BNB. I don't know if we've seen it this close in a long time. Just look at it battling right now. You can see it. It is catching up. It is only $100 million away. So the battle for the number 4 spot. What are your thoughts on Solana overtaking BNB? Was it an inevitability, or is it because CZ is behind bars?
Honestly, I think it's because of the progress of Solana's making. Big fans of the Solana ecosystem. Spend a lot of time with those folks. I've been to a number of their events. We're at a hacker house in London a few weeks back, showing our tap to pay capabilities with Solana. They're doing some amazing things, right? Yeah. I think they're doing some really great stuff. Solana token extensions are doing some really good things.
Folks, later on in the stream, we're going to give you the best plays in the Solana ecosystem. So you want to stick around for that. And I want to maybe get your take on one sleeper pick. That's a super small market cap, but I think there's massive potential for it. And I'm going to give you the Cardano on Solana. Now I'm going to give you the elevator pitch and just, maybe see what you think. We also have Doge is up 3.6. I said XRP is dumping. I was, maybe exaggerating a little bit, everybody. It is only down about 5% today.
That's wild.
What do you think about XRP down today?
I got to find the news here. It's been nonstop at the conventions, so keeping up the news is like keeping up with the Kardashians. You've never had no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
I mean, you gotta be like Lamar. You gotta like get some sort of energy enhancer, just to keep up everybody.
XRP needs a Brazilian butt lift right now, is what it needs.
Okay, I was thinking a crack pipe, but that also works.
5% in the last 24 hours is pretty insane to see, as it's been above 60 cents for a little bit. But we know there's that resistance at 70 cents. The top movers, though, is what's really interesting to me. We got Tau, of course, Jasmine, Rune, Jupiter, and I was very curious. I was jumping the gun on this one because were you going to say Jupiter? Is that your Solana hidden gem?
It is not the sleeper pick. I will confirm it is not the sleeper pick. It is much smaller market cap than that.
Okay,
yeah, we're talking about past 500, but under 1,000. So the market cap is between 500 and 1,000.
The market cap is between $500 and $1,000
for the rank of coins. Oh, okay. So it's not in the top 500. It's a $500 market cap. It is a meme coin. I just launched now. Go buy. No, we also have Cardano. Like I said, Cardano's up a good amount. But let's just real quick. The biggest gainer is going to be Tau. Tau's up 12%. Jasmine. Taco's just talking about Jasmine. Talking about his 5X on Jasmine. We have Rune. TJ, I know you love Rune. It's good to see that thing up about 10% today. What about the losers? Pith. I'm going to give you my take on Pith as well. Pith is on the short list, everybody. When you look at the biggest losers, however, XRP, the biggest loser in the top 100, everybody.
You know
Followed
what I
by
haven't seen in a
Athena.
while though? EOS right behind it.
Yeah.
Man, it's still dropping, but I haven't. That needed some life into it a little
EOS
bit.
is a top 100 coin. That should it be?
There are some, you know, it was that what Forbes article from a month or two ago about the zombie chains.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think that was one of the ones on the list, right? You know, it's there are some chains out there that you know, to their point, I don't agree with the full list, but there are definitely some out there that, you know, have a market cap, but not a lot of interest and not a lot of activity.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the, you know, they were right in pointing out that there is a danger with some of these chains.
Yeah.
That they, you know, they have holders, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, a lot of these zombie chains, you know, might be in a lot of wallets, but you're not seeing a lot of activity. You might not see new daily active addresses. But there's one metric I want to talk to you about, and that was the fee generation, was one of the metrics they're using. If your chain doesn't make fees, it's a dead chain. What about chains that are designed to be low fee? Are they just going to have too much of a speed bump to succeed in the future?
Yeah, I mean, low fees are obviously a great advantage for the people that are transacting on that chain. And there are some fantastic, you know, highly performant, low cost L1 chains out there. And it's a competition. It's a competition out there. That's really where the payment space is going, to be able to be able to figure out what is really going to be that next chain that becomes the payment network of the future.
All right.
Yeah, I think a great idea. This is $1 million idea for, we're talking about zombie chains here. Maybe XRP. Let's talk about this a little bit. Okay. RFK is here. You guys remember the Pentagon with the zombies? You guys remember that? It's like one of the greatest maps ever with JFK. Just hear me out. On-chain zombies, and instead of getting XP points, you're getting XRP points for killing zombies. I think, hey, that will kind of play off in the trend, maybe bring a little bit of community action.
Why is this guy, Jed McCaleb, just crushing the leaderboard?
He's always crushing the leaderboard,
Always
man.
crushing that XRP
He's got
leaderboard,
that Nancy
folks.
Pelosi group chat on Telegram or Facebook or Signals. I don't know where it is. I've been trying to get into it for a very long time, but the dude is the GOAT, got to admit.
All right, well, speaking of moves by whales, everybody, we saw Bitcoin had almost $3 billion in net flows to exchanges yesterday, marking a yearly high. Why? Mt. Gox deposits. And so, Mt. Gox is happening. You expect everything to dump. Well, when you look into it, yeah, customers are receiving their crypto assets after a 10-year wait. But what's really awesome is these people are deciding to hodl. A lot of them are hodl. And here's Bitstamp's announcement. We're pleased to announce that we received the assets. We're working diligently to distribute them to our customers who are the creditors. Plea allows up to 1 week for security checks. What do you think is going to happen to these people? It's been a decade. They haven't had their Bitcoin. You know, they get one Bitcoin. Out of 100 people, how many do you think are going to hodl? At least half.
Well, I mean, look, if you think about, I mean, it's been a long time since the whole Mt. Gox thing, you know, and you know, what was the price of Bitcoin then, right?
Yeah.
And compared to now, it's like, I think those people, you know, in a lot of ways saw that what is the value of just holding those coins, right? It's like, you know, at the end of the day, I think some of those folks actually ended up being protected from the fact that they would have sold it sooner.
Yeah, they would have had paper hands. Now, curveball, now do Bitcoin Cash.
You know, BCH is one of those chains that is like, you know, it's been out there for a very long time. It has its place, but it, like, ultimately, I think the question becomes like, how does it compare to, you know, is it the payment solution? Does it compare to the really highly performing fast L1s? Like, where I honestly don't know its place in the overall ecosystem.
Yeah, for those who don't know, you know, people are new to crypto. There's a big exchange that went down, and then people had Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin had a fork in 2017, so you're actually able to receive both of the tokens. Do you think most of the people are going to sell their Bitcoin Cash?
I think most of the folks who are in Bitcoin at that point and are going to get reimbursed today are going to want to get, you know, regular Bitcoin.
Okay. Fair enough. Hey, he's trying to, you know, be fair. I guess Bitcoin Cash, a lot of people use Arculus to custody Bitcoin Cash as well.
I mean, we support both. I mean,
we got to be nice to them too. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, as well, we support Bitcoin Cash. We support, you know, anything anyone cares about.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. All right. Well, you know who also supports Bitcoin in a major way? Like I said, we saw RFK yesterday. First, let's give our takes on the Secret Service detail there. A lot of people are going to want to know. I was 4 feet away from these Secret Service agents. I don't know what kind of camera angles. Let me just say this. I didn't see this at all. I didn't see any struggling with. I didn't see any of those. These were 6'5", broad-shouldered dudes, as far as I could see, and they look very capable.
Yeah, and you know, One, it's good to see. Was it actually? Did he get a Secret Service detail, or is it still private security?
No, it was Secret Service.
Okay, so one, it's good to see that finally the one individual that's had 2 different family members assassinated, by age, like
Yeah,
that's on
his dad
record.
and
This
uncle.
isn't a
Yeah,
hidden
his dad
thing,
and
right?
uncle. Yeah.
That he finally gets it. But what I want to put, dude, he is Secret Service. I mean, dude, he walks in there like a tank. It just goes to show that age doesn't necessarily matter for the presidents. You just got to be fit. Like this guy looked like he could get into karate combat and beat the shit out of the other, fighters. I wouldn't
Especially
have
the
been
ones that get
surprised.
gassed early.
Yeah.
I think RFK could actually defeat 90% of the arena in a push-up contest.
I think he probably, or whatever it is, he could definitely outrun them, outwork them, and outplay them. But yeah, a lot of interesting, talks in right now with RFK here at the convention, of course, with Donald Trump. There's actually breaking news that I'll pull up right here.
Oh, yeah.
That RFK Jr. reportedly held Trump talks today, or maybe last night, whatever it was, about a possible endorsement and maybe even a job here. So markets, obviously, as they're reacting more pro, I guess, stay crypto oriented right now. So we're getting this massive pump. Could be coming off of the fact that Kamala Harris, absolutely in the gutter. I mean, she got booed pretty much out of the convention, and now you even have products like, or companies like Forbes out here releasing hit pieces, of course, now on crypto. Leaks reveal a big Fed earthquake could suddenly smash the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and crypto. It's a Republican issue. It's a partisan issue. Immediately pivoting over, saying Bitcoin again from Kamala Harris, that it, of course, is it's for criminals. Bitcoin is for criminals.
So you think an RFK endorsement for Trump would move the needle for Trump?
Definitely, because he would pull, and my reasoning, and I would love to get your thoughts on this too, is going to be, even if it's only 7 or 13% of the Democratic Party, there's a lot of the Democratic Party right now that's like, okay, well, Kamala, she was a far left social, like libertarian. She was voted that as senator in 2016 and 2020. And so I think there's this part of, the polls say it would be a pretty decent percentage that would definitely vote for.
Well, what are your thoughts on the border czars? Maybe she won't win. If he does endorse, do you think people will actually move from Kamala to Trump if RFK were to step down, or from I guess will most of them go to Kamala, or do you think you could see a split there?
I don't know. I mean, the last things that I've seen in polls, and again, I don't watch it super closely. There's obviously folks have done polls where they have all 3 people in the race, two people in the race, and how does that split go? The things that I've seen have basically shown like maybe a 1% change in a 2-person race versus a 3-person race. So at the end of the day, I think if RFK pulls out, I think those votes are going to be largely split.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I don't think it really makes a huge difference.
I got a prediction about you. Back in 2002, you really like Ralph Nader. Am I right?
No.
Oh man! For some reason, I was just thinking libertarian, Arculus, self-custody. He's fighting for your right to hold Bitcoin. Everybody, I thought maybe you would have been a fan of Nader back in the day.
They need anything they got right now. Harris has actually, it looks like a shot at the president. So it's
for sure.
It's definitely
100%. There's going to be a media machine
unknown
behind her. There's going to be the largest brainwashing operation in U.S. history, mankind's history. There's a giant machine working with her.
Tell me how you really feel.
And let me say this: if they, I don't know, I'm not on TikTok. If there is a favorable view of her on TikTok, that means the CCP is fully endorsing her
Guess
as well.
what she did today?
She danced very well. I don't know.
Everybody gets mad to second politicals on that. Crypto is very political, though. I mean, it's very libertarian background, like evade the government, etc. Privacy, like things that Edward Snowden obviously was definitely removed for out of the country. Ross Ulbricht's still in jail. But is there attack on TikTok and crypto specifically? That's both my biggest, that was my job, my livelihood. And then of course our industry, they've backed all the, the Bitcoin taxes, the energy taxes that made absolutely no sense. They've, sponsored positions that are like, Bitcoin energy is bad for our markets. It's going to ruin the dollar. It's going to destabilize our nations. And then the other one was, again, TikTok. She came out on TikTok today after they've been trying to ban it for so long. So I'm like, really? Are they going to play us again here?
Yeah. Well, speaking of play this again, let's play this 14-second clip. This is RFK. I'm a huge supporter of Bitcoin. Are we good on audio? Morel, are we? All right. Well, next time we throw it to Josh, I'll mess with that. I am a huge supporter of Bitcoin. Put most of my wealth into Bitcoin. I am fully committed, just like you're fully committed to smashing that like button. Everybody, we appreciate it. Really helps our metrics there.
We do have a $5 super chat from David Smith here. What do you guys think about Casper partnering with IBM with their AI governance product? Love to hear your thoughts. I would have to say Casper I haven't necessarily talked about with too long, but we are partnered with Constellation DAG, as you can see behind us, and they're hosting a hackathon right now with IBM. So what I can say is IBM is moving more and more into these governance plays. They're understanding the development behind these infrastructure plays, and they see the utility with that. As a huge security company, it kind of makes sense that they're finally rolling over into the cryptography. I don't know if you have any huge points on AI or governance models. I know you're the head of product for self-custody, which has a lot to do with security. What are you seeing in the AI governance area right now in the crypto markets?
Um, Not so much in AI governance, but I do think there are, there's more than one kind of blockchain out there. There's more than one kind of use case out there. I think that we're seeing lots of interesting things in sort of the real world asset space, in the regulated space, for bringing on, things like real estate, insurance, and all sorts of other things like that, where you are talking about real world assets coming onto chain. And it's on a variety of chains, right? Things like that aren't maybe as well known in the mainstream, like Provenance blockchain, right? With Figure has a massive amount of real world assets tokenized on chain. There's stuff out there that's happening sort of at a layer that's not as well known among the sort of the general population. But there are really important things happening at the level of institutions and businesses.
Yeah. Do you think retail will ever fully embrace RWAs, or will it just happen where they don't know it's happening? Like, when they get a house deed, it's digitized, but they have no idea how to access that.
That's the idea, is that you don't really think about, today, like if you buying stuff online isn't like a weird thing. It's just it's just where you buy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And eventually, where we're going to reflect ownership is going to be on chain, and that's just going to be the way it is, and it's not going to be weird and unusual.
Yeah. I remember when Amazon was around, and it kind of literally just sold books. And I remember buying books from Amazon back when I would use my library card. Do people even do that anymore? I don't think so. Well, let's talk about Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin pumping? We're seeing Solana pump. We are still going to give you the Solana altcoin sleeper pick. That mine, very, very small cap. I think there's upside. Again, I want to get your take on my elevator pitch here. I actually sold it all, and I actually got to get some more, everybody. But let's talk about Bitcoin. It headed to 70K. What is behind the surge? So you can see it here, influenced by the expiration of $3.9 billion in futures and some key support levels holding firm. Also, traders eyeing Trump's Bitcoin 2024 conference speech and new U.S. inflation data. Also, potentially, the rumors swirling around with RFK and Trump right now. So Bitcoin is on a tear, eyeing the 70K mark. So what's driving? Let's break it down. So we got the expirations here. We talked about that. We talked about the max pain point at 63K. And for those who don't know, max pain point is when most options contracts expire worthless. Doesn't mean it'll hit it, but it does create downward pressure. Also, after that, we got Trump's speech. Traders are eagerly awaiting new inflation data from the country. Here we have the next upcoming speech of the 2024 conference. A lot of chatter about what he might say. He might add Bitcoin as a national reserve asset. What are your chances, or what kind of odds would you give that?
I think there's a difference between saying something like that in a speech and then something like that actually happening.
Okay, well, let's just say he says it. What are your odds on him saying it? Maybe not implementation.
God, I feel like to a certain degree, I am not going to. I'm not going to make a guess about what Donald Trump's going to say. I feel like that
probably,
could be absolutely anything.
Tough. Yeah.
But I think the actual path to doing that, again, I don't think it's a bad idea to actually do it by any means. But at the same time, it's certainly going to be a much more involved process to actually doing it. It's not sort of a snap decision that anyone's going to make.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the sort of thing where someone just says, like, go and do it.
I want a day where we have more assets tied up in Bitcoin than we do in like our petroleum reserves. Because at the end of the day, I think Bitcoin will be a huge national security issue, much like petroleum will be or is today. All right. So also we have the core PCE.
We do have another $20 super chat coming in here from Jay Harris. Shout out to Jay Harris here today saying, good morning, y'all. Lords just dropped on Coinbase, very low market gap and 7 million supply. So I went ahead and pulled this up. It is going to be a Web3 game.
Okay.
Does look interesting. It is, cool to see it on Coinbase. It's a huge move for a lot of new products out there. Looking at the trailer, of course, it's really, really sick in terms of, the animations, but that's not obviously what the game looks like. That's going to be the trailer. That's any, AAA game at this point. But looking at the actual gameplay, looks decent. I don't know if this is more of a like Ages of Empires type style mechanic, but does look like it's, on Unreal Engine, pretty decent graphics. What I'm going to say to this is I'm a huge fan of Web3 gaming. I think it's going to be one of the biggest parts of the crypto sector in the next probably 3 to 5 years. I come from esports. I know you come from esports as well. I don't know if you've ever played, in the esports industry. That would be wild as well. But what we've seen is like a huge lack of monetization for players. And so if you're not the top 10, and by the way, you go to Vegas, there's 5,000 people, competing for these prizes, and you're not the top 10, you're not making any money. You're just losing money. So it's a very, very, very competitive field. And there's a lot of money, but very, very few consolidated few. So seeing Web3, reward players for playing them and integrating their time. I mean, playing Ages of Empire, playing, any MMOs like Elder Scrolls. I've spent thousands of hours in these things. And if they were to able to, this is what I think they should do. Again, it's just my own opinion. I think integrating a token is something that's too complex because it's already insanely complex to make a very successful video game. So if you're a studio, maybe there's an option for a token.
Actually,
but in game, I'm thinking like I would much rather just have them launch an NFT marketplace. Not say it's an NFT marketplace because people are going to be turned off instantly. Just scrape a 30% tax
like a
on the back end.
MapleStory trading bazaar.
Yeah, so you just trade in game, and then they have a swap function where if you swap out to USDC, they make money off that transaction as well because they're going to have their own swap features.
I believe there's a lot of people.
Liquid.
I just got a $5 super chat. Check out Oracle. I think that's what that says. AI. All right, a lot of people throwing out some sleeper picks. Maybe check those out. Tell us, what game did you waste the most amount of time on in your life? I got a little story. I was the first person in my high school, true story, to collect all 150 Pokemon on Pokemon Blue or Red. You know what I actually got for that? I got to graduate a virgin. So that was my prize that I got. So, I'd rather you get like tokens, get paid to play. Don't end up with DZ's prize.
Do you like Web3 games or not something you've dabbled with yet?
A little bit here and there. I think, things like Shrapnel are really cool.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. We have another good comment that said, I would like Web3 games if they made an actually good gameplay based game, which is my point. And it's not something you guys could, I would not ever, it's very hard to make a game. It's insanely hard. Like, yeah, you have Riot developers, you have, Epic Games, you have all these different platforms and developers out there, very consolidated few again. And so to make an addictive, immersive world that lasts for years and years and years, like a Call of Duty, that's like trying to say you're finding the next, the next Bitcoin or the next Nvidia. Like it's probably not going to happen, right? But there is going to be a lot of players out there. If you look over the last 10 years, maybe we're just biased. I feel like I'm finally at that point where I've hit that. I'm like, man, I haven't liked games since Black Ops 2. Some people are like, no, I haven't liked games since the original Black Ops or even Call of Duty 4.
I haven't liked it since Pong.
And when there hasn't been huge breakthroughs, Fortnite was the last really big breakthrough in 2016. We're all waiting for GTA 6. When will we get that? I don't know, but we'll see.
Are you a gamer?
I'm not a big gamer anymore. Did more so years back. Honestly, I feel like I've lost the thread a little bit.
All right, people throwing out the games. Warcraft, we got Civilization, and then someone said, my girlfriend's favorite Pokemon is Squirtle.
Oh,
Evan, you should know better now. One last thing I did want to say, Bitcoin did pump. We also had an inflow day yesterday. $31 million came in as well. Some more Bitcoin stuff here. Fibonacci ratios can be used for more than just price. Here they're applying them to Bitcoin. This is really, really important stuff because this is talking about bear market tops, bull market tops, or bear market bottoms, midway points, all that. And it's very interesting data here. When we retrace at the halving, we get near perfect first and second top date predictions for the past two cycles. Those are the red 236 and the orange 382. First cycle works as well, but only when the retrace is drawn starting in April 12. First cycle, that 2014 cycle is a little bit odd, but 17-21 gives us clean data. The retraces gave us close dates for the cycle bottom and the first early top. Our next halving is projected March 24th, 2028. So here's the upcoming dates for this bull run. This is the blueprint. If you use the last playbooks, maybe it's a Bill Belichick thing. We don't know what's going to be updated here, folks. But if we use the previous cycles for predictors for this cycle, this is what we get. First top, March 2025. Final top, October 2025. Bear market halfway point, April 26. Bear market bottom, September 26. First early top, May 2027. I would agree with all of this. I think everybody sees October 2025 this cycle, and so the top will actually be September. I'm a September 2025 top guy. What do you have a month and year that you're comfortable saying? I think it will be here.
I mean, I've been at this long enough. I don't try and time the market anymore.
What do you think about we had December 2017, November 21. Couldn't it be October 25?
I think to a certain degree, you have this, there's always a historical bias, right? To try and go back and say, well, this is the way it was, so we're going to project that line forward. But you're drawing that line often against the data, and you're sort of making that line fit Ethereum.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it might be the Mt. Gox folks who had it right. Have your Bitcoin locked out so that you can't touch it.
Yeah. Are you going to read the Jigglypuff comment?
No, I was gonna read the I like Rhythm.
Oh, okay.
Because which you're kind of already talking about it, but the $5 super chat was, where do you guys predict Bitcoin to go after we top out this cycle? Do you think there will be another 80% drop from the top like this in the past?
What's your prediction for? I got 70% is probably going to be my drawdown
for Bitcoin.
Yes. It's typically 85.
There's too many things I don't think is predictable as like a 2017 or a 2021 with the ICO bubble, because it really, like, to make that like speculation, we have the elections this year, and this is the world's largest year for elections, like 3.4 billion people. So this year matters the most for a lot of pro crypto legislation. So my thoughts are kind of more of, look, there's going to be another bear market. I actually had the opportunity to interview Tom earlier today, and we have a great video that's coming out, guys. Why self-custody is important. Is there going to be another FTX collapse? What to do to prepare yourself for an FTX collapse? And why self-custody, again, is like so freaking needed. But what I can say is, I don't know if it's 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 6 years from now, there is going to be another bear market, and there's going to be other exchanges that are weak. They're going to fall. They're going to break. They're going to crumble. And if you're that person that has your crypto on those exchanges, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin drops 70, 80%. What matters is, are you protected from even a 30% drop or a 40% drop? That could eliminate some of these bigger players in the industry. Because I think we all can agree here. Bitcoin adoption, we don't have to, it's not a scam. We don't have to argue this anymore. I love Eric Voorhees. I always go back to Eric Voorhees' interview with Peter Schiff. He's like, dude, I'm exhausted of these conversations. Why do we even sit here anymore? You're on your 14th doomsday book, and Bitcoin's now up, 2 million %. Like, I don't have to, that's not the conversation anymore. It's, okay, where's adoption heading, and when are we going to get there? And that really depends on elections in November this year.
All right, and Julio say about 50%. So I think a lot of people are thinking, this drawdown will be a lot more muted, and Julio gave a good reason, the ETFs.
Shout out Julio. That's a great answer.
I would agree with that. Talking about the drawdowns, you can see we have not come near the drawdowns that we saw previous cycles. These large bars on the top represent some drawdowns. This time we only had 8. Oh yeah.
Probably had about 5 minutes.
Tom might head out in a bit. No worries there.
But
make sure we check out Arculus. We're gonna have a link down below. 8 drawdowns between 5 to 20%, 2 between 20 to 30, and nothing greater than 30%. So compared to previous cycles, we've only had a little bit of pain. Nothing compared to the pain that we saw last time. Everybody.
Yeah, from a macro perspective, I think one of the things that looking further ahead, right? The thing that I'm sort of looking for is, I think the next sort of like big tipping point is Bitcoin kind of getting to the value of global gold.
Yeah,
right. When you get to that point,
and now it's only 10% less.
Right. And I think when you get to that point, now you've really got a very mainstream, traditional commodity case to basically say, like, Bitcoin and gold are essentially equal assets at that point.
I will say this. I will be bold. I think in my lifetime, Bitcoin will surpass the market cap of gold. Do you think that's a fair timeline?
Hopefully I live that long to see it.
Yeah. Well, I like to drive fast, everybody.
So,
Leave good looking. No. All right. Well, let's talk about some more charts. This is some great macro stuff, kind of to what you're saying. I might just skip to one of them. The 4 charts suggest the bull run is not over. One, we got the MVRV, market value to realized value. It's just going to be, where the coins were traded at. You can see, during the bull run last time, we didn't even tap this blue line. If we did, we barely tapped it. Maybe, a little bit of a dump there. Then we had this bull run right there. This is 2017, 2021 bull run. Went way too high, too fast. I don't know, is that El Salvador? Maybe people sell and may walk away. Well below the MVRV line right here, and then still peaked above to gave us a new high. This time we are tapping it, but now jumping above. But let me go to just the best one right here. That is price performance since the halving. We're going to throw up, I think, 4 halvings here. And so after first halving, climbed 1,000%. After the second one, 200%. After the third one, 600%. And after the fourth one, we've fallen 2%. But we still got time. So just look at this chart right here. Third to fourth halving, second to halving to the third one, first to the second. And then this is the first one right here. So yeah, we still got plenty of room to run, everybody. Many days ahead of us. How does Bitcoin, it does seem like people knew in 2017 there's 4-year cycles. People definitely knew in 2021 there's 4-year cycles. Is it just the power of the minor outflows that we can't break from that even people know it's coming?
The immediacy always sort of like trumps the macro picture, right? People, it's hard to zoom out. When you see you're down 5% or 10% in the course of a couple weeks, it's hard to zoom out and look at the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year picture.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about it. I'll be interested to see how many cycles it continues. Is this the last cycle it continues? Might stop there. X seemingly dropped the Bitcoin emoji during the Bitcoin conference week, surprising the community. Sell all your Bitcoin, everybody. This just in BlackRock's Robbie Mitchnick says it's quite remarkable how the spot ETF holders have a strong buy and hold nature. It was interesting. Oh, yeah. James was at the fight. Saw him there last night. Good job, Nick Carter. Shout out to Nick Carter. I like all Nicks. All right. ARK Invest sells off shares of its own spot Bitcoin ETF worth 7.8 million. What's up with the ARK seemingly making some bad investment? No, I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff comparing her to Berkshire Hathaway. ARK sold off Bitcoin. I don't know if you think this maybe just a profit-taking strategy right there, but interesting to see that she was selling while a lot of people were buying there. Van Eck seeing Bitcoin hitting 2.9 million. We kind of touched on this. I want to get your prediction. If you just had to give us a decade, what's the decade Bitcoin hits 1 million? 30s, 20s, 40s?
I mean,
Obviously, This is not financial advice. It's just, ballpark. If you're in Vegas, you're going to put a $5 green chip on a stack of decades. What decade would you pick?
Absolutely. So at 1 million, golly, so it's at 21 million times 1 million. Like at that point, like I think there's a point where I'm like I said, I'm looking ahead to the gold Bitcoin parity piece.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I feel like I don't know what direction is at that point.
Yeah, and with gold's price right now, if Bitcoin were to reach gold, we're looking at like $600,000 Bitcoin. Something, it's always fluctuating with gold and everything. But yeah, you're looking at $500,000 Bitcoin. Everybody, big shout out to Jersey City, Jersey strong, everyone. Jersey City making a 2% Bitcoin allocation for its pension fund, according to the mayor. I'm sure it will eventually become more common. Yeah, pension funds almost by design with our rate of inflation seemingly are just designed to fail. Like, just on a long enough timeline, it's like, the people for the first 3 decades got great pensions. And then we started to slash the 3rd, 4th, 5th generation of workers. And then eventually we just had to dissolve the pension. But you put Bitcoin in your pension, now you might actually have something when you retire.
Yeah, I mean, look, the studies have shown that adding Bitcoin to a portfolio adds to the overall stability and returns on a portfolio.
Yeah, when do we start seeing more sovereign nations adding Bitcoin publicly, not secretly? I think it's happening secretly. When do we see more than just El Salvador or small Pacific Island nation?
Personally, I think it's going to happen more and more commonly at the treasury level.
Okay.
It's
could it happen next year?
Absolutely. I think certainly from the point of view of especially smaller nations, they're going to want to add Bitcoin to their treasuries. I think the bigger nations, the EU, stuff like that, we're ways off on that because they're still having the argument about CBDCs and all that kind of nonsense. But like from a pure monetary policy perspective, investing some of your national assets in Bitcoin is as logical as investing it in gold these days.
Yeah. Well, we got a new attack vector by Elizabeth Warren. What are your thoughts on Elizabeth?
I think I wish you weren't attacking crypto. At the end of the day, I wish you actually understood that giving people access to control their own assets, giving people that freedom. On the one hand, Elizabeth Warren goes after abuses in traditional finance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also one of the things that crypto does.
Yeah.
Right. I think, I wish you would take a better look at it and really understand the way it can empower people, the people that she says she wants to help.
Do you think it's a lack of knowledge or malicious intent? Because you're suggesting it's like, well, if she just, maybe read the white paper, she'd maybe come around.
Like, I agree with a lot of the things that she's done on the going after the abuses in traditional finance.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think crypto is actually doing the same thing, right? It is empowering people to control their own assets.
All right. Well, speaking of empowering people, she's losing power. People are stepping away from her bill here. Senator Warren claims foreign crypto mines being used to spy on the U.S., but her support base is shrinking. We just had Senator Rogers withdrawing support for a bill that they co-sponsored here. I just want to read a couple of her quotes, two of them. Foreign adversaries are using crypto mines to spy on U.S. military operations. This is an obvious national security risk, but it's not the only risk. It also threatens the energy grid. Increasingly, foreign companies are building crypto mining facilities on U.S. soil. They're actually warehouses stuffed with computers that process crypto transactions and produce new crypto tokens. They're loud, they're hot, and they suck up a ton of electricity, which can crash the power grid. And that's why many countries have banned crypto mining. What are y'all's thoughts on those comments there?
I mean, look, so look, I'm from New Jersey, and one of our senators was recently convicted, and they didn't find a bunch of Bitcoin in his, in his possession. They found a bunch of gold bars.
Senator Gold Bar Menendez.
Right. They found gold bars. They found cash. They found cars. They'd find crypto. Crypto did not invent these problems, right? They found gold bars stamped with,
so
the logos
the
of
gold bars
banks.
from the Egyptian officials.
Yeah.
I heard it was a pyramid scheme. Sorry, that was
Dang.
sorry. Anyways, guys.
Honestly, that was Bitcoin. I'll give you that.
That's a Scotland joke.
You should be able to grow hair for that one. That was really good. I want to say, like, with Bitcoin mining, it is insane to watch people. This is why I'm starting to talk a lot more politically, and I know, again, I just can't help myself, because like watching a lot of people that are in politics like be anti-crypto, like all we can do is sit here and just wish that they weren't. Because if you guys didn't know this, there's a statistic on this. There's been over 1,800 different polls and studies in the course of multiple universities that show 30%. If a bill or legislation is going to pass in Congress, or just into law, even if only if there's 0% support by the public, there's a 30% chance it will pass.
Wow.
Do you know what the percentage of a bill passing if the public supports it 100% is?
Less than 50.
Less than 50?
I believe it was actually slightly less than 30.
It's still 30%. Yeah,
still 30%.
They're both 30%.
So has nothing. Our opinion has zero weight on the outcome.
Exactly, and that's because of something. If you guys don't know, it's known as gerrymandering, and essentially what that is a game of not geopolitical, but like national risk for politicians.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't get the votes they need, they can literally cut out the votes that don't like them in their at the current area to get voted in.
Yeah,
they can literally manipulate to get into positions of power. They can also do it to push people out.
Both sides want it. And it's
100%.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is like, okay, so we can sit here and say, we really hope they change their minds. The only way you change their minds, lobbying.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of money to convince these people that Bitcoin actually isn't bad, that companies like CleanSpark is amazing, clean miners here. Of course, what's the main one that I'm spacing out right now?
Marathon.
No, not Marathon. It's the one that does all the flare emissions and everything as well. I'll remember the name later on, but you can convert flare emissions. You can take landfills, which have methane gas, and you can actually put on Bitcoin modulars, which creates
you can put it up to a cow's butthole. Like, there's so many future use cases that we haven't
explored yet. Hook up a Bitcoin miner to a cow's ass, and that Bill Gates he'll be zipping his lips.
I'm mining Bitcoin every hour.
He'll be zipping his lips.
They're laughing, but I'm telling the truth here. All right, now I heard something from Matty B. We love Matty B. He's the best thumbnails in the business. Really, really great. Best piano player. Really, really great crypto influencer, trader influencer there. Matty B once said something to me about a year ago, and every time since I've heard it, it's changed my opinion on this guy. Have you ever heard that Michael Saylor could potentially be a CIA asset?
I have not heard that before.
Now I'm planted the seed, and then I want to talk to you in a year. So he said that to me, and I at the time I said that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. But then I will say this: like 5 times since then, I've seen something happen, or I've heard him say something. I'm like, anyways. Well, just in Michael Saylor, U.S. government should own the majority of Bitcoin. It's the Manhattan in cyberspace right there. So he wants the U.S. government to be the biggest hodler right there.
Makes sense. And pump his bags to the moon.
I do know you have a hard exit. Do you want to give a parting thoughts to the people out here? Maybe just tell them a little bit more about Arculus, and they see you, come up, say hey. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to give away an Arculus. We've got the giveaway going on right now.
Yeah, I'm here at the Bitcoin conference. I am wandering around Nashville. I am happy to be here in Nashville. We want to widen the tent, bring more people to have self-custody of their crypto assets. And again, it's about choice for us. We want people to be able to hold their assets, trade on exchange, hold your assets yourself, be fully self-custodial, and keep pushing things forward.
Yeah, when he says trade on exchange, like Arculus can hook up to a Uniswap. So it's a lot more functionality than people are expecting. So yeah, really, really great product. Check it out. We got a link down below. So big shout out to Tom. Hit that like button
Yes,
for me.
thank you, Tom, for joining us today. Guys, use code DC10 in the description below to get 10% off your Arculus wallet today, guys. You need self-custody. And again, turn on those notifications because our interview with Tom earlier today was outstanding, and it will express, again, what you need to be worried about when the next FTX does crash, because there is going to be one.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Always a great time. Let's talk about Donald Trump right now. Donald Trump bagged $4 million from the crypto heavyweights. He got in Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. Wait a minute. Did Donald Trump sell the XRP? Is that why it's dumping right now?
Did he sell it?
No, I don't know. I'm just speculating here, folks. I'm trying to read between the lines. I don't think of course he did. Everybody. Well, yeah, his crypto donations are growing. As of right now, it looks like it's amounted to not even amounted to at 100K as of June 24th, but now he is over $1 million, $2.15 million just in Bitcoin. Came from 19 donors. So really, really cool stuff. We'll maybe have some insiders that might be in some Trump events. We'll give you the takes from behind the scenes, everybody.
We should be live with it tomorrow for you guys too. We're going to be trying to do a live setup, camera action style, but I don't. Again, guys, the security is tightening, which kind of makes sense on what happened. But this is something we're going to be trying to get is actually a live visual of the entire event.
Like I said, we saw RFK's detail. We'll let you know if there's any kind of big disparity between Trump's and RFK's. Yeah. I don't think there will.
Oh, no. I already saw Trump's around the conference. Like they're literally checking like the vents and doing like all this crazy stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were like, oh, like when we were in the media room, they were checking.
Man, that's nuts.
They were checking.
Yeah, like I said, big shout out to Nick Carter. Here's the final 5-10 seconds right before he knocked him down. Nick Carter's on the right, securing the dub at Karate Combat. So, hey, big shout out to George. We're all George. Let us know down in the chat if your name is George. So we have talk about Ethereum, and then we're going to talk about the Solana sleeper picks that we want you to maybe put on your radar. Miles Deutscher tweeting out ETH dip, not surprising at all. This is exactly what I've been telling you. This is what we were saying to you 4 or 5 days ago. This is what I was saying to you last week. This is what I was predicting a month ago. The Bitcoin spot ETF, when it first launched, it dropped 20% in 14 days. Afterward, Bitcoin rallied almost 100% in 50 days. If anything, the pullback is an opportunity. I did have a prediction. I think it was actually 10 days. Maybe it was 10 trading days. And so that would mean 14 days. I'm sharing my prediction now. It looks like it's playing out again. It wouldn't be 14 days because we saw how long it was last time. So that means that window of dumping will shrink. Maybe the dumping's over, everybody. Bitwise ETH ETF banner going up outside the iconic facade of the New York Stock Exchange this evening. For the fund's perspectives, risk disclosures, you can visit here. Just really cool that ETH crypto taking over Wall Street. So suck that, Wall Street bull.
Got breaking news coming out of Michigan here. This is Justin from Bitcoin Magazine. State of Michigan Pension reported owning $6.6 million in Bitcoin ETF SEC filings today.
Wow. You know what? There must have been some, some pension fund freaking conference somewhere. And they're like, Bitcoin. And the next thing you know, the smart ones are buying the Bitcoin today. All right, Ethereum sees yearly high institutional activity following the ETF launch. No surprise there. Obviously, after we launch a big giant ETF, we're going to see some massive news. Let me show you this right here. This is ETH Bitcoin. So we got ETH and Bitcoin. They're both trying to fight for the ETF dollars. Well, we posted about this bullish divergence where you can see ETH losing value to Bitcoin as the RSI was moving up. Well, I found something in the charts for you folks, and I want to share this with you. I don't think anyone else has seen this yet. We had a very similar bullish divergence in the past where you can see, the price is heading down, RSI is heading up. But look at this. After that, we did a little fake out. Before we got really bullish. And so you can see this little bit of a hump right here after the div. And what do you see right here? You see almost the exact same thing. You can see right there, a little double M top or an M top. You got another M top, maybe potentially testing the yellow line again, just like this. If we draw it out, didn't actually even reach that far there, folks. So I don't know if we're going to have a bounce soon. I wouldn't be surprised if ETH starts just blasting against Bitcoin. In fact, I'll make the prediction. I think ETH is going to start gaining against Bitcoin very, very soon. Oh, let me share 3-day chart. So if it doesn't happen tomorrow, don't get mad at me. I'm talking about over the next 30 to 60 days. I'm making the bold prediction right now. Sorry, Ben Cowan. I think ETH dominance is going to go down. I'm disagreeing with Ben Cowan here. Here we have the on-chain leaderboard. Grayscale still winning. BlackRock will catch up eventually. So maybe we'll have a pizza party when BlackRock
Ooh, I like that.
ends up beating Grayscale. The Block Pro headline: spot ETF surpassed 848 million daily volume on the third day of trading. So I like David EX reply. The ETFs are hangry. I would add the A. It's beyond hungry. They're hangry at this point. Now this is going to be cool. BlackRock CEO. When BlackRock was in the 2 years leading up to the ETFs for Bitcoin, what was Larry Fink's public comments on Bitcoin?
Money laundering index. It's a scam. It's for the criminals. I'm
Now,
pretty
do
sure.
you think now they just flipped bullish like in a couple months before the ETFs, really started exploring it in July of the year before? Do you think BlackRock just all of a sudden was like, hey, let's just do ETFs now? And then like in 2 months, they had all their T's crossed and I's dotted? Or is this like a multi-year plan to add Bitcoin ETFs?
I would probably imagine that with their team, they had researchers all the way back in 2013 presenting it to them,
Okay,
and they
okay.
immediately probably had oh, this is interesting. Then fell under the category of, okay, well, no, this is actually used for money laundering, and it's a scam, and it's a Ponzi because it was just how it was accessible.
How long do you think it took the lawyers to get everything buttoned up before they went public? We're saying we're going to offer ETFs.
I think they were probably ready shortly after he made all the crazy remarks in 2021. I think 2022, when they realized the asset fell and they kept researching it, and they realized, when they realized there was a moment somewhere where he realized tokenization would make them billions of dollars because it reduces all of your costs and makes it way easier to govern. And that is all they want to do. That's all they want to progress towards. So I would say sometime in 2022. By 2023, I would imagine they were already planning on integrating.
So it's fair to say they had the legal team on it. They had all the accountants on it. They had all the regulators on it. They had everybody that talks to SEC, CFTC, backroom meetings. Do you think it's fair to say, while Larry Fink was on MSNBC saying Bitcoin's a scam, stay away, they were working on adding Bitcoin features? Do you think that's a fair statement?
Here's a hot take. He was doing it before then.
Okay, I would agree too.
Because
they're fudding it while they're basically buying it. Maybe not buying it, but setting the framework to buy it.
Or even better, I think you have two of the biggest ETFs. One was gold in 2004. The other was the biggest advancement in like the history of stocks was 1975 with Jack Bogle's index funds, which is Vanguard. So he needed to be you hear him talk about it now. He's the first institution to adopt this new era.
Yeah.
Right. That's his 1975. That's his index. That's his Jack Bogle moment. So I think there's a possibility he was ready to do this in 2018, 2019, and they were just keep building on it. They're like, you know what? We're going to back Jamie Dimon. We're going to back the current administration in 2020 to 2021. Very easy to hop onto. It gets their political backing. There's probably some lobbying in the background, but yeah, to say that they just outright, research this did a span of 2 years, they changed their mind. No. Yeah, I think they've been doing this for a few.
When Larry Fink speaks about a crypto situation, whether it's an offering or legality, whatever it may be very wary of his first comments, because right now he's actually talking about the Ethereum ETFs and whether or not they're going to allow staking. I've been saying this for probably about a year. They want ETH to have staking because it's like a dividend. They're going to see Bitcoin as digital gold, and they're going to see Ethereum as a crypto with a dividend. Oh, what do you mean it does this staking thing and it gives you like 3-4% every year? Oh, kind of like my Microsoft stock or kind of like my Berkshire Hathaway. So they're like, okay, so I get this like nice little dividend. So it's going to be an attractive feature for people. People want ETH staking ETFs. They want the rewards to come back to them. They want to put $1 million on an asset, and if the asset's price doesn't change, well, they got $40,000 out of nowhere. They want this. They want this. They're going to have this. Well, Larry Fink said, hey, when it comes to adding staking features to ETH spot ETFs, it's not on the agenda. Josh, do you believe him when he says, I'm going to say it, Larry Fink is lying to you? I think it is on their agenda. I know that's a bold statement.
For which?
He's saying staking feature for ETFs on Ethereum, not on the agenda. Agenda is a very big word.
Staking comes for 2 to 4 years.
Look, I'll say this. Agenda, no, legally, agenda is a very sneaky word. Agenda is something you're like, yeah, it wasn't on our agenda. We were exploring the legality, but it wasn't on our agenda. When I say agenda, I mean like we're rolling out a product offering in 6 months. Agenda is so vague. Even if they're doing everything in their power to add it as a feature, he can always say, well, yeah, it technically wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah, they're the largest asset management company in the world. So for me, like again, this is why people don't like this. It depends on who gets elected. The the vagueness shifts to more pro crypto or anti crypto based on those beliefs, because it all matters about legislation, and we all know that's going to take 2 to 4 years to be implemented anyways. So yeah, it's very interesting, but it goes to show just who else has been, you know, anti crypto that actually secretly has been building behind the scenes and wants to have this comeback story of, you know, oh well, no, actually we're the first ones in this space.
Well, speaking of comeback story, let's talk about Solana. And right after this, I'm giving you my Solana picks, everybody. Franklin Templeton. If you don't know what Franklin Templeton is, it's like a mini BlackRock. So we got the mini BlackRock reveals its favored cryptocurrency, and its favorite cryptocurrency, obviously, it loves Bitcoin when it comes to Bitcoin. But one asset manager recently issued a reminder on X that the world's digital asset is far greater than its biggest coin. Franklin Templeton stated, alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum, the ecosystem filled with exciting projects, and singled out Solana as its favorite. Here's what they had to say. Besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, there are other major developments that we believe will drive the space forward. Solana has shown major adoption and continues to mature, overcoming their growing pains and highlighting the potential of high throughput monolithic architectures. We had that very smart developer on yesterday. Of course, big shout out to BitLayer. He kept saying that. No, people want high throughput. This is what the smart people are looking at. So Solana. Now let's talk about Solana. So if you want to look at Solana ecosystem, I'll go ahead and show you how. You go down. Solana might be number 4, might be number 5. You click on Solana, and then on the left side you're going to see categories, and you can click on Solana ecosystem under chains, or you can find it there. We're going to just click on Solana ecosystem. Now I'm going to share a very, very deep pick that I sold, and I probably need to buy some more of. I felt like I had we sold a pump like a long time ago. All right, so great projects on Solana. Render, obviously a great project. I would highly recommend everyone should have a little Render in their bag. Well, it's up 12% today. Maybe don't buy the wick. Maybe look for a little correction. Jump in the charts if you're a chart guy. Jupiter is also a good play. Pith. Now, this isn't the sleeper pick, but I would say Pith. If you don't know what Pith is, look at it as the cheap chain link. Not as big as Chainlink, has a fraction of its partnerships, but it is a Solana first ecosystem play. It's an Oracle play. What are your thoughts on Pith Network or Pyth? I like Pith.
Yeah, it's something, you know, I kind of unfortunately faded early on. They actually reached out to me, and as well as Pendle very, very early on. But, you know, just nothing's ever going to replace Chainlink, but there's going to be competition. This is not like a one player, you know, wins all. There's going to be 30 different MLB teams, right? They're all going to attack different vectors, and there's 8 billion people in the world, and 6 billion of them are still untapped in crypto. So I think there's a lot of upside to advantage of that, especially being the like Oracle provider, I believe, of Solana here. You know, it's a needed play. It's a very much needed play.
I'll go and say this. It's 1.4 billion. I think you can hit 20 billion bull case target. So that's a 7x in value. I'd have to look at their token dilution to give you the real number on what your gains would be, but let's just say they'll be pretty damn good, folks. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and share a sleeper pick. I think Radium's good, but my sleeper pick, remember I said not in the top 500. We've got to keep scrolling. We're scrolling. DZ, you're looking now we're getting scary. Now we're looking at some very, very sketchy stuff here, DZ. Well, there was a coin that was pumping on Ethereum. Josh, we haven't set this up. There's a thing that was pumping on Ethereum. It was having related to, I guess, branding. Do you know what coin I'm talking about?
No.
DZ.eth.
Ah, interesting.
You know what I'm talking about?
ENS?
So
ENS?
ENS was pumping like what? Like pumping like crazy, right?
Yeah, it was up massively.
Well, what are your just broad thoughts on ENS?
I've still not ever actually played the ecosystem. ENS names was like another, I look at it as another NFT market. There was like a bunch of traders that were like collecting, buying, selling, trading back and forth.
Let me say I'm more bullish on it today than I was 2 years ago, and I'll tell you why. Base. Because it's one thing to say, oh, it's kind of like, you know, a whale's being sold. It's like your email, but like way cooler, you know. It's like a mixture between an email and a URL and a bank account. You're like, all right, whatever. And you're like, email, that sounds stupid because ETH gas fees were like $70 for a swap. But then when you have base, and you do things for like a penny or a fraction of a penny or 3 cents. Now having a personalized all-in-one where it's like an email, it's like a wallet. Now it starts to make a lot more sense. Well, there's a play on Solana. And Taco, was it you that was saying they rebranded as Solana Name Services? Bone Fida. All right, so the play is FIDA. We actually covered it in the past. Here it goes, 727 Oh my God, is that Stein? Bonefita Taco said they just recently rebranded to Solana name service. That's actually very much needed. My number one problem with this token was the branding there. If we go to max, how are we? Oh my God, this thing now. Let's hit market cap. It could be diluted. I see opportunity here, folks. I see some opportunity. This thing hit a $500 million market cap. What the freak is this market cap right now? Let me I mean, what is this? I didn't know it was this small, folks. Oh my God, it's 37 million. Honestly, I thought it was like $150 million market cap. I didn't know it was 37 million. I still think it's pretty good play though, folks. Especially if what Taco said was true. Okay, SNS, DIDs, they got to update this. They're gonna have to update this. Yeah, that's my bull case. What's a favorite Solana project for you?
Jupiter, for sure. I'd have to say Jupiter for sure by far. I'm not really super into the Solana ecosystem though. I'm more into base orientation and a lot of, just other plays. RWAs are you guys know me. Like you can't be in every single ecosystem, but there is a lot of projects out there and Solana is great. And I know actually shout out to DeFi Daddy. He came to our party last night. Yeah. He's a huge Solana guy. Like I think he only actually has Solana based projects and that's been his entire platform for the last 4 years now. So it just goes to show like if you are, if you can be a maxi in some ways, and what I mean by that is if you actually choose a chain that has real development on it, there's a lot of money to be made in all these borrowing, lending, infrastructure plays on these platforms. So,
all right. Well, Holy Toledo Taco, I am bullish on this one. Yeah, I found it. Bonefita, that is the actual account there. But yo, they just got this 3-letter Twitter handle. They got the yellow check mark. They got over 100,000 followers. And I'll just say, you got all this going on, $37 million is not what your market cap should be. All right, let's just, as a comparison, what is ENS right now? So this is 37 million and ENS is, let's see here. We're doing a little live breakdown and then I'm going to compare the market caps. Holy Toledo, 30x. Not quite, it's about a 25x. We're looking at a 25x between ENS and SNS as far as differential. Do you think Solana is only 1/25th of Ethereum? Hell no, everybody. Market cap is 390 million. Solana is 84 million. So you're looking at about 1/5. So you got about 1/5 Solana to Ethereum. Bonefita to SNS, 1/25th. Oh yeah, I smell that opportunity. Smells so good, everybody. Now hit that like button if you smell that opportunity too, everyone. All right, let's SNS right there. I got a little Cardano red meat for the people here. Is it time to buy ADA despite extremely high negative funding rates? Well, I found something in the Solana charts here. Chris O also found something different. He found a little inverse head and shoulders. Looks like the head and shoulders. This could be, I guess if you're upside down, it's your right shoulder still, I guess, depending on which way you're facing. But yeah, see the right shoulder here. You got the left shoulder, you got the head, the right shoulder. Pretty good bull target to the upside. What is his target here? 60 cents. Right now, we're pop above 40. I found something real bullish, though. I was looking at the 3-day chart earlier. I was like, you know what? I think I can find. Then it just happened to pull it up on 3-day for ADA. I happened to notice this crazy bearish divergence. This is a bad bearish sign. How did it play out? Pretty damn bearish, if you ask me. You can see the big dump right there. Let's measure it. This is Cardano we're looking at, and this is very recent here. And you can see Cardano fell 60%. Holy crap, in 114 days. Why I wanted to back test things. And I feel like we're kind of, similar to the period. We're at the calm before the storm with Cardano. That's what I feel. Maybe other people are a little bit more bearish than I am. But, when I stretch this out, I found another bearish divergence. And then, okay, this is looking very similar to where we're at today. You can see the RSI heading down as the price headed up. Well, how long did it take for Cardano to have a good time, everybody? It took 182 bars. That's 545 days. And so, folks, it might take a long, long time for Cardano to pump. So just be patient. If you're a long-term believer in the ecosystem, I wouldn't say sell your tokens right now. I have this burning desire to get more Solana, and I see my Cardano. I just can't let go of it, folks. Although maybe I should. Franklin Templeton explores Solana ETF after the Ethereum win. Franklin Templeton eyeing Solana. So just big news for Solana. A lot of stuff happening there. But when it comes to celebrity tokens, it's the exact freaking opposite, everyone. Let's just, I just want to look at this. Who the heck is that guy? TJ, do you know? Josh, do you know who the heck is that? Is that the guy that got in the jet ski accident?
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm talking about? Beautiful girl or something like that. Yeah,
I don't even know.
Don't laugh at my singing ability. Sean Kingston. Is that Sean Kingston? Why are y'all looking at me like that? I say it looks like Sean Kingston.
That is before. Was I alive?
God, are you that young? You don't remember Sean Kingston?
No.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, 50 Cent down 99.9. Waka Flocka down 99.7. Sean Kingston lookalike down 99.8. I'm not sure who that is. That is Amber Rose down 97.6. Barron Trump's down 80%. Little Pump had a big dump. That thing was down 90%. I don't know who that is either. Is that ringing a bell for anybody right there?
Really? No idea. That
and then
is
Top G actually winning with a 73% dump.
Okay, which is probably about normal meme coins.
It's better than 99.9.
But like again, like you got to just realize, guys, when you're trading meme coins, like you know what you're getting into with these celebrities. They're mostly D-list or C-list celebrities that are probably massively in debt, and they want to become relevant again. They've been relevant since 2012 or 2016. It's been almost a decade, and it's helping them get back to some exposure. So, you know, what do you expect? Some rapper to come out and just miraculously know how to just run a perfect meme coin? Like, no, you're just setting yourself up to be rugged.
What rapper would make the best meme coin and like have like utility and stuff?
Drake will probably drop Kids.
All right, folks. All right. Well, that's our Nashville episode. We appreciate you being here. Go ahead and hit that like button on the way out, folks. We're going to have some hot takes on Trump. We're going to go see RFK. And that was just too spicy. We got to end it. See you, folks.
See you guys soon. We got a bunch of interviews set up right now.